Hey Ryan, Michael Galloway here with We Don't Need No Stinking Record Company.com, and we're talking microphones and mic technique. You get a little bit of help when you go to the recording studio. Typically you're going to be using a condenser microphone that's probably not as touchy in terms of proximity effect like we talked about last night. But there's another thing that they do in the studio. If you see any pictures in the studio, they'll have this large disc with a very light mesh in front of it and the microphone on the other side. And in fact, you can pretty much bring your mouth right up to that mesh and sing and say the P's and T's and B's and the things that would normally make a microphone pop. And that round pop filter will keep that from happening. And so, that makes it a little bit easier for you when you're in the studio trying to record. It's a different situation. You can use microphones that have a whole lot more full frequency response in the studio because you're not trying to suppress feedback. And in fact, a really brittle microphone on stage with monitors and that kind of thing going on is going to create a lot of high-end screeching because those frequencies are prone to feedback. And we've had discussions about how feedback's caused before. But the condenser mics and the full frequency, really brittle mics aren't as good for a live application. Now, I heard an interesting story the other day that Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones insisted on something like the SM58 or the 57 to sing and record with somewhere within the first 8 albums or so. I don't know if that's true anymore, but I think what he was trying to do is recreate the sound that he got on stage, which was a little less accurate and a little more live sounding and a little more rugged sounding or not so clean sounding, shall we say. And sometimes I suppose some microphones could actually reproduce things too well. It just kind of depends on the effect you're trying to get. So there's a little bit about some of the microphones that you're more commonly going to run into. There's lots of reading you can do out there about ribbon microphones and condenser and the dynamic ones that we've been talking about in this last little series. But I hope that will help, especially you new folks who are just starting to use microphones and mess around with them. I hope that'll get you down the road to get a little bit better sound out of them. I'm Ryan Michael Galloway, and we don't need no stinking record company.com. Thanks. Coming back tomorrow night with new stuff.